Hi everyone, I'm Sarah McIntosh and welcome to my residential design project. Before we begin, I kind of want to show you my final product that I ended up with. It's a 2-unit duplex that will be mirrored. It'll have 3 bedrooms, 3.5 bathrooms, and 3 floors. This new development that I designed will be located in Mount Pleasant on West 14th Avenue in Vancouver, BC, which means that I'll be working with the RT6 zoning bylaws. On the top ribbon, I've outlined the house that I'll be demolishing, and on the bottom ribbon is my new development. Moving on to talk about numbers, I've summarized the project data to talk about the lot width and depth, which is 50 feet by 122 feet, which is quite large, but that's after you realize that all of these houses on the street are all townhouses. And for the max gross floor area, that is 4,575 square feet. So with those numbers, I designed my home to have a total of 3,710 square feet, and if we split that right down the middle, we end up with 1,855 square feet for both units. I took a lot of design features from my neighborhood study. Since all of the houses have elevated porches and they were usually covered, I wanted to add that into my design as well to keep the street looking cohesive. Some houses had dormers or shed dormers even, so actually later in my design process I decided that I would add those to my front facade. Gable details really caught my attention. I knew I wanted to use these features because I think that they give the house a little bit of character, and so I decided to add those brackets as well. And finally, I also wanted to incorporate any sort of decorative column. Now we'll be talking about this site. In the site inventory, I had many things that I actually wanted to keep and only a minimal amount of things that I wanted to remove. The one thing that I wanted to remove was this tree near the front window here. It's quite close to the building and I want to have access to the backyard from both sides of the house. As for the smaller trees near the front, I would keep those so that they still provide a privacy barrier between the neighboring properties. And then moving on to the rear of the site, if you look at my new site plan on the right, I'm removing part of the garage so that it becomes an open parking space, which would let me add more greenery and fencing. I did have setbacks that I needed to work with, so if we go back to the project data, I was given a front yard setback of 23 feet. So I placed my house quite near there since I wanted more room in the rear yard, which was given a setback of 35 feet. For both sides of the setbacks, I was given a minimum of 5 feet, which I actually didn't use. I wanted to add some greenery along the side of the building, so I ended up having a width of 6.5 feet long for both sides. Keeping with the exterior of the building, probably the most challenging part was deciding where I wanted to place the most important rooms. Since there is a wall separating both units, I had to really brainstorm where I wanted to place, the kitchen, the living room, the bedroom, since lighting is such a big factor. And I can show you how I place those rooms if we move on to look at the interior. So I have a porch entry that leads into a foyer. This foyer then leads into the living room and the dining room, and as you can see, it's a very open concept interior. I didn't want to have too many rooms separated by walls because I didn't want the units to feel too small. And so we have a very spacious kitchen and a pantry that provides storage. We also have backyard access, a bathroom, access to the basement, and also the upper floor. For the upper floor, we have one bedroom, we have a bathroom, a master bedroom with an ensuite, and a laundry room. I wanted to put the laundry room on the same floor as the bedrooms because I think it's very practical instead of having to walk up flights of stairs every time, which I don't enjoy. Now, moving on to the basement, we have a large media room or a room for anything really. We have a mechanical room, bedroom, and a shared bathroom with pocket doors to save space. For the building sections, it's fairly simple. I chose this certain location to cut through the building because all the windows are located on the exterior side of the unit, and you can also see how narrow the unit is as well. For the height of the ceiling, I went with 9 feet for both the main floor and the upper floor, and 8 feet for the basement. Finally, after going through these drawings, I had many different versions that I could have ended up with, so we can talk about some of the changes that I made along the way. I started with these bubble diagrams. The main floor basically stayed the same throughout the entire process, but the upper floor and the basement is where it really changed. As you can see, my original plan for the upper floor included 3 bedrooms that were way too small, so I basically took that bedroom and moved it down to the basement. That opened up each room for more closet space, and since I had more floor area to work with, I was able to just add those rooms into the basement. And so that finalizes my entire process that I went through and ended up with this model that I'm very proud of. I hope you enjoyed my insight on how I designed this home. Thanks for watching.